So first of all, just a brief outline of what I'm going to be showing you. So I'm going to be showing you how to group variables together to get your performance indicator. I'm going to be showing you some techniques within Excel, for example, sorting your data, some calculations, and creating and understanding what charts to use for which data. So this is my export from sports code. This might be something like your matrix that you've exported out of sports code. Yours might not be as extensive as this, but what I've done is I've highlighted here at the top. So I've inserted a row, right click, insert, and what I've done is highlighted the performance indicators, or the variables I'm going to look at to make my performance indicators. And what this data is showing us is when the USA played in the Olympics, and each quarter they played in, how many points they scored and how many points were scored against them. This is the difference and how big I calculated the win to be. So whether it be big win, close, loss, tied, or just the general win. So what I want to do first is understand what they were doing in each of these categories. So what was different between big win and loss maybe, or big win, close, or tied. So I need to find the averages for each of my red columns. So I've inputted win, big win, loss, close, and tied. So I might want to put this in an order, the same order at which this is. So if I click on data, so data, and I click on sort, and I want to sort column F, I'll press OK. So that sorted that in the same way it sorted that. So I want to sort my data. So if I click on the top row, hold down Shift and click on the bottom. So I've selected my range and now I need to sort. So I might want to sort by two columns. So the first column might be the number of which quarter it might have been within the tournament. So that is A. And then if I press on this plus sign where it says add level, I can then select F, which is the outcome category. If I click on F, press OK, that will sort it like that. But I want it back to where it was. It's still selected, so I can sort it again. So I might want to get rid of this A, so I'll just press the minus, and then it'll just be F, because I want to see what outcome category it is, never mind what game it was within the tournament or what quarter number it was within the tournament. So first of all, we want to look at the average for big win, close, loss, and tied. So I've just taken you through the sorting aspect within Excel, and now we're going to be working out the averages for the outcome categories, for the red cells, these ones here. So I'm going to be looking at offensive rebound, steal, turnover, 2-point unsuccessful, 2-point successful, etc. It goes on there. So I've also got zones, which we're going to be talking about later. So if I press, we'll go into this cell here. I want to do this one first. So this is the first red column. If we press equals, average, click on average, and then I want all the big wins. So it's the average of the big wins. And then do the same for close, equals average, click on there, brings up the brackets. So I want close, which starts there, and then press return. I press equals, average, open up the brackets. This is for loss. So there are more offensive rebounds for losses than the others, so close and big win. We go equals, average, and then we'll do the same for tied. And then equals equals average, because we're looking at the averages, and we'll do the same for win. So we can see there that loss, they had the most, on average, offensive rebound, the quarters that they lost. So that makes sense, because an offensive rebound is a rebound gained by the other team from a USA shot. So that makes sense. So if we highlight this, so I've just clicked on there, drag down, and then this little square at the bottom, if I drag that across, it'll do all the calculations for me. So we'll just look at this section for now. So these are my averages, and I might not need those because we're not looking at those, because that hasn't got a red cell above it. I'll get rid of these because these are confusing us. And what I might want to do is format these cells so it makes a bit more sense rather than reoccurring instances. So if I right click, format cells, I want to go to number again, and I want it by 2 decimal places. So we've got our results there. So I can do the same here. So if we copy that, Command and C, so I've highlighted those, and then Command and V, and it automatically, so this is possessions. Do the same again, Command and V, and then this is by the zones. So it goes all the way up to zone 5. So that'll work out what I need it to. So this is by big win, close, loss, tied, and win. Right, so we'll deal with that stuff later. First of all, I'm going to show you how to maybe create a performance indicator from these, we'll say these 2 variables here. So scoring no and scoring yes. So if we insert a column, so I right clicked and insert. So this is where we're going to find the total number of 2-point shots taken. So we go equals sum, and we return. And then we can drag those down with that square, and that gives us the total. So total 2-point shots attempted. I'll make that a little bit bigger. And then we'll do the same for 3-point. Equals sum. We're just going to do it in the cell below. Equals sum. Open the brackets. Highlight what you want to add together, and then press return. So 7 plus 6 equals 13. So this is total 3-point shots attempted. So we're going to cheat, we're going to copy that, paste that, and just change the 3-point. So this is now our performance indicator. So if we highlight that red, it's not a key performance indicator because we haven't worked that out yet. So these are our performance, well, they're going to be our performance indicators. So we've got the totals, which isn't a performance indicator. So we need to match the yes or the no, so the successful or the unsuccessful, against the total taken. So we'll insert another row, a column, sorry, and press equals sum. And we want to divide the yes, so / by the total. And that gives us a value. So we're going to copy and paste that across. So this is percentage. So this is percentage of successful 2-point shots. That's what this is. So we can tidy this up a little bit now. So if we highlight this, right click, format cells, number, so it's on the number tab there, and number there, and we want 2 decimal places. And we can easily, you might want this as a percentage, so we'll click on there, and this little button here, if I hover over it, it says percent style. So if we click on that, it gives us a percentage. So we might want to work out for that performance indicator what actually happens in here. So we delete there. We need to make this into a percentage. So we can see the more successful 2-point shots there are, the more likely we are to win, because that's the highest value there. If you want to understand this a little bit clearer, you can go to Conditional Formatting and go to data bars or set colours. So the higher the value, the darker the colour, lower the value, the lighter the colour. But we're going to just do a little data bar here. So that's successful, percentage of successful 2-point shots within their tournament. So we need to do the same for 3 points attempted now. So we can do the same. I'll show you a different way now. So we'll conditional format. So this is in the home section. Conditional format, we might say colour scales. So the higher the number, the lighter the colour, the greener the number, the greener the cell, sorry. We might want to make a chart out of this now. So if we select those, hold Command down, select those, while still holding Command down, select those. And now we need to insert a chart. So we might want a clustered column. So that's looking at one against the other. So we click on that. That's showing us there the Series 1 v Series 2. So we need to give these titles, don't we? So we might need to cancel off that. So you can see the problem. If you don't have titles, then these aren't going to be labelled, and we want that to do it automatically. So we backspace on that, and what we're just going to do is copy that and paste it down here. Copy that and paste it down here. We're also going to give this a title, so it might be outcome category. So I'll select those, hold command down, select those, hold command down, select those. Now I want to press insert, and I want to go to this clustered column again. And now that's showing us what they actually mean. So you're going to give it a title, and we'll give it, we need to label the primary and the horizontal axis. So if we click on that, we might want the legend in there as well. So this might be your percentage. Percentage value, and then this will be, like we labelled over there, outcome category, and this is 2 point. So we've looked at 2 point and 3 point success rate. So we've labelled that there, and we've got our axes labelled as well, and we've also got a key showing us what's happened. So this is telling us that to get a big win within this tournament, the USA have had considerably more successful 3-point shots and 2-point shots. So by showing us that, so they've got 69 and the next highest is 44. So that's quite a big difference. So we might want to look into that, because that is our key performance indicator. So we know that 2-point shots and 3-point shots, well, definitely 3-point shots, because that's got the biggest gap. That's going to be our key performance indicator. So that's the variable really that makes us win the actual game. So if we get more 3-point successful shots, we're going to win the game. That's what that's showing us. I'm going to copy that and just put it in another sheet for now. Command and V. So that's our first chart done. So we might want to look at the zones now. So where those 2 and 3 point successful shots actually came from. So we can click on that and backspace that, and we'll see that it doesn't delete from there either. So we'll go back to this. So now we've got our zones. So we've got 2-point successful, 3-point successful, 2-point unsuccessful, and 3-point unsuccessful. So I'm going to make a few more columns here. So we want to look at the total again, because we need to measure the successful against the total number of successful shots. So I've got zone 1 2-point total already in here. So I'm going to work out the 3-point total now for zone 1 this is. So we go equals sum, come along here. So I want to look at 3-point successful. So hold command down, click on there. While it's still holding command, click on 3-point unsuccessful, and then press return. And it shows us the score for that. So then all I have to do is drag that down, and it gives us totals for those in zone 1. So now I need to work out zone 1 2-point percentage. So we go equals sum, and this time I'm dividing the successful, so the successful 2-point shot, by the total, and then press return. And these show in div/0 exclamation mark, showing us that there were no 2-point successful and 2 point unsuccessfuls in that quarter. So that's why it's coming back with some kind of error, but that's okay. So this is giving us a percentage. So I want to change this to format the cells, go to number and go 2 decimal places. And this is going to give us more of a clue. So like we did before with the percentage, I can change the cells within that column to a percent style. Yeah, so we can see that some have got 100% success rate. And then we'll do the same for 3 point equals sum. So you can see already it's starting to come together. So we've got successful divided by the total div 1, because there's 0 in both of those. So if we look at 3 point success, there's a 0 there and a 0 there. So that's why it's coming back with that. So don't worry about that. So now we need to tidy this up. So it is all about tidying up your data. So we need to right click, format the cells, go to number, and then 2 decimal places again. And we'll change it to a percent, just one click of a button. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at these within zone 1, so see whether this was a crucial zone. And if you have a look here, it's got some of these here. So what we can do is we can delete out these. So click on it, backspace, click on it, backspace. And then they're going to automatically update. Because if there's an error in there, it's just going to check. The first time it sees an error, it's going to say, there's an error. We need to get rid of that and call it an error. So these are our scores now. So I'm going to conditional format these into bars. We'll go for red this time. For red in here. For green. So we can see if they win, so 3 point shots from zone 1 actually matter. So that's quite crucial as well. Yeah, but we'll do all the other zones and then we can work out what these are. So we'll copy that, paste that. So what we're going to look at now, we've got our results for zones 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So I've worked out those just by doing the same as what I did for zone 1 and 2 when you were watching. So now I want to transfer it all over like that. So it's all in one space so we can analyse what we're looking at. So if I highlight that, so I've highlighted that column, hold command down, I want zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, while still holding command down, all the way up to 5. If I just press Command C or right click copy, go to my other sheet and I can paste that in there. If you want to make it all bold, just highlight that, go to home, bold. If you want to make it so it's at an angle like that, just to make it look a bit fancy, we go right click here, format cells, we need to go to alignment and we'll go to 45 degrees so that it's doing the text at 45 degrees. Press OK. I want to extend those so it looks like that. So there's our results really. So that's how I got that. So what I want to do now is look at the difference between winning and losing. So big win versus loss. So what are the key differences? So I'll put big win v loss. Have a look at the percentage difference. We'll make that a bit bigger. So if you click on there, it automatically adjusts it to the size of your text. So if we go equals sum, we want to know the difference between that and that. Yeah. Or that minus that equals 10%. We'll drag that over. And we can make it a percentage. So you can see the biggest there is from zone 4. So we can have a look at the top conditional format, and we can look at top. So we'll go, rather than top 10 items, we can put the top 3 items. We can highlight it light red fill with black writing. Press OK. And we know that from zones 1, 4 and 5, they're the top 3. Yeah. So zone 1, 4 and 5. Okay, so we might want to highlight what zones these are. So what I did for this section is save an image from Google Images and then draw these lines on. So to draw the lines on, you just go insert. So the picture was done by that. So insert pictures, picture from file. So I saved it from Google and then found it within here to add it in. To add a shape in, so a line is classed as a shape. I just drew one of those in like that. And you can easily change the colour by right clicking, going to format shape, and it'll bring up this bar for you. So I increased the thickness of it, and you can change it to whatever colour you like. So it's just formatting it so it looks professional. So we'll press backspace and we can close that down. So I want to add my zones in here. So if I go to insert and I want a text box, so I'm going to have zone 1 in here. Make that a nice size. Change the font size. So we've got that. So this is something that you might do to present your results. If you've got a pitch map, etc., you might do this. So we've got zone 1, and we're going to copy and paste it 5 times. So Command C, or right click, copy, and then Command V to paste. Yep, Command V. So I'll drag that down, that'll be zone 2. Paste, paste, and paste. So we can call these what their actually zones are, what their zones are. So we'll do this, and then so we've got zone, and then you'll change these. So that's zone 2, zone 3, zone 4. So all we're doing here is summarising our results. So they're in a format that we can easily read. So that's a bit off there, so I'll take that over there. So we know that zones 1, 4 and 5 have the biggest differences. But what we want to do is have these symbolised in here. So the biggest difference so we're going to put these differences within these zones. So we go So we're going to label them 2 point, 3 point, etc. So we highlight those, we can drag them across. We might have so that would be your title. So that's going to be your title, because that's shown as the big win via the loss percentage difference. So what we're going to do now is get these results here and put them in their respective zones. So what I did for this was go to Insert, just a simple text box, put that in there. So we want to label 2 points. So this is zone 2, 2 point equals 33%, like it says there. So we're going to put 33%. We need to put the percentage in there. Might be percentage difference. We know it's the percentage difference because it says so up there. So we'll just put percent. And then we'll press return up here at the end. And then we'll do the same for 3 point percentage. And then that one's 31, like it says down here. So we go equals 31%. We can change that to the right size. So it looks a bit neater. So I highlighted, all I did with this one is highlight that, go to home and press red. You can even bold it as well, because they're the top 3 differences. So we're going to do the same for zone 3, 4 and 5. So we go copy, and we'll paste, and paste, because we've got 3 left to do. So we know they're all in the same format, but all we have to do now is change the values. And then this symbolises where the zones are and where the biggest differences lie. So we know that these now, zone 3, 2 point and 3 point, are both 28% different. So it's just a different way of presenting your results. So for zone 4, we've got 21% and 71%. So that's where the biggest difference lies. So we go 21, and then we're going to highlight this red. So we click on, so it's in the home section, and then we click on bold. And then for the final section, we'll go 12 and 79. And you guessed it, press the red and press the bold. So there's two sets of data there. So we've got the success rate of 2 point, and then we've delved deeper into this section and matched it against the losses. So we've done that and we've represented it by using a diagram. Okay, and you can easily, if you go Command, Shift and 4, we can then take a picture of that. And then you can put that into your assignment. So what I want you to do now is look at your data, see where your performance indicators lie. So group your action variables together. So like I did. So I grouped my 2 point shots and my 3 point shots, made success rates of them, and then I measured them per zone. So you could do something like that. So the next thing I would do within this data is look at maybe the steals versus turnovers. Steals being a positive thing, turnovers being a negative action. So that's what I'd do, and you'd have big win, close, loss, tied, and win, and then you'd have them matched up against each other, similar to this. So that's what I'd do next. So that's my next performance indicator I'd measure. So to do that, right click, insert, you can do the difference. So equals sum steals take away turnover. So the steals being the positive, turnover being negative, so the team was turned over. So it's 2. So the biggest difference being 6. So we know that they've had 6 more steals than turnovers. Yeah. So we can then group that. We'll look at the averages again. So all we do is copy that over, and then these are the averages. So all we do then is copy that, well, highlight it, hold Command down, copy that, but we forgot to do one thing, and this is steal, so we need to label it V turnovers. Steal V turnover difference. So it's just taken away one from the other. You might want to wrap that text to make it look nice. So we'll wrap that text. So it's in alignment and then wrap text. And then when we do that, it groups over the top of each other. So a simple one now. Highlight that. Command, hold that down, select that, and then go to insert. You might do a bar chart again. You might do it this way round. So if we go to that, and we can see there that we're going to copy that, and we're going to put this in this sheet here. So if we Command and V, this is our steal v turnover difference. So we can see that the biggest difference between steal and turnovers was big win, which makes sense. But then interestingly, the tied games also had that. So we know that this might not be a key performance indicator, because although there is a big difference between big win and loss, so we can calculate that difference. To paste those values, so I've copied them, it's shown that I've copied them, double check, copy, so right click and copy, and then I want to paste special these, go to values, press OK, and that just does the values rather than the formulas. So now I want to look at the difference between big win and loss. If you wanted to add the data values, so we can add data labels, so it tells you what the scores are within there. And you also need to format this again, so we go to Chart Design, Quick Layout, and we don't need the series really now, so we want that. We can get rid of that because we know it's there because the title's at the top. Then you're going to put the category outcome here. And then that's still v turnover difference. Okay. And then you'll go on to explain what the difference might be. So you might insert a text box and you'll have 2.29 difference, and that's between, so if we go, that might be big win v loss. So that's showing me that you understand the difference between the big win and the loss. We're going to add these data labels again just to show that difference as well. So we've got 3 types of charts there that explain what's going on within your results. Well, I want you to do this now with your results.